Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Arnold down to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to, you and your brothers, just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. 3rd and long, it's Darnold. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And a big 32-yard play on 3rd. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Penny, the 1st down carry. And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Now it's Darnold. That's caught right side by Anderson. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to face a 3rd down. Darnold. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. Give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. And that one makes this a 10-point game at 16-6. So that's a big one. Obviously, Charles makes it a 2-score game. His 3rd field goal of the game, able to knock it through.
Yeah, not exactly free and clear yet, but as a defense, you get to play a little bit looser, don't you? Because you do now have a little bit of a margin of error, don't you?
And now out comes Houston. And last time out, another missed field goal. So maybe their confidence wavering a little bit right now in the kicking game.
And I'm with you on that. I think at this stage, they'd love to not run him back out there in a tough situation. But let's face it, they may have to. So right now, the head coach is talking to the offense coordinator and saying, call this game like we're going to put it in the end zone. Let's try and take the field goal out of it.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. After the run, Watson going to throw. And that is incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
He's letting this one go for Fuller. And it's incomplete. Both players had a shot at that one. Neither can get it, and it brings up 4th down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone, and especially against deep balls, as we saw there.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Oh, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. Here's a give to Penny. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line. Able to stay in bounds, and the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, break it the football. Get it out. We got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
The Jets on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 4. They'll go option to the short side. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. And that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Here's Watson now on 2nd down. Flushed out right. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game's slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, second half, no quitting him.
0.
Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. A very solid gain of 27. First down now, but that clock rolling.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4. Here's Watson looking to throw on 2nd down. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard.
Black 22! Black 22!
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. He finds his target, Fuller. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
A shotgun snap for Watson. Oh, and it's incomplete. That would have been big in the end zone if he could have held on. Instead, it's 2nd down. What a difference a week makes. For 80% of his passes this week, he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films. And
this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off down near the 5. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season.
All right, now, let's get this
Here we are in
Season of
December.
giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
It's a pickup of 13, and with that 13 yards, this ball game just about over. I guess he was saving his best for last, so to speak. Longest run of the day coming here in the fourth quarter right there.
And that type of run makes for a better night for him and his teammates, doesn't it? To be able to produce this late in the game can lead to some big smiles and satisfaction in the locker room after this one's over.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them.